Oh, this was just a nightmare of mine when I was younger. The young people today won't understand this, but we do. Woman faces felony charges for forgetting to return Sabrina the Teenage Witch tape, VHS tape 20 years ago. Yeah, she went to a Blockbuster. A woman in Texas received a nasty shock while trying to update her married name. She was a criminal for a crime she didn't even remember committing. In fact, she was guilty of a crime most people of a certain age would have probably committed. 20 years ago, she forgot to return a VHS tape. Karen McBride, 52, made the discovery during a trip to the DMV. The former Oklahoma resident had moved to Texas and gotten married and needed to update her information. I went to change my driver's license during this COVID thing. You had to make an appointment. They told me that I had an issue in Oklahoma. McBride was mystified. She called the number from the DMV and they had provided, and was connected to the Cleveland County District Attorney's Office. During that conversation, McBride was floored to learn that she was a wanted felon. The first thing she told me was a felony embezzlement. So I thought I was going to have a heart attack. She then learned what crime she had committed. She told me that it was a VHS tape. I had to make her repeat it because I thought this is insane. The girl was kidding me, right? She wasn't kidding. In 1999, someone had rented a copy of Sabrina the Teenage Witch in McBride's name from an Oklahoma video store called Movie Place. Okay, not Blockbuster. When no one returned the VHS cassette, she was charged. McBride was charged in March 2000 for felony embezzlement of rented property. The charges say that McBride did willfully, unlawfully, and feloniously embezzle a certain one video cassette tape, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, of the value of $58.59. That is way too much for Sabrina the Teenage Witch VHS tape. That's too much. Almost $60. McBride was stunned. Not only did she not remember renting the VHS cassette, she didn't even like Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I have never watched that show in my life. Just not my cup of tea. Meanwhile, I'm a wanted felon for a VHS tape. McBride added, I mean, I didn't try to deceive anyone ever. Sabrina the Teenage Witch, I swear, as she absorbed the shocking news, it dawned on her how such a thing could have happened. In 1999, she had a roommate. I lived with a young man. This was over 20 years ago. McBride explained he had two kids, both daughters that were ages 8, 10, and there's a third kid for some reason that they don't mention in the first sentence. And I'm thinking he went and got it and didn't take it back or something. In fact, the more McBride thought about it, the more other parts of her life seemed to suddenly make sense. Since 1999, she had been fired from a handful of jobs. Her employer had never given her a reason. Now she thinks that her criminal background is why. When they ran my criminal background check, all they're seeing is those two words, felony embezzlement. Fortunately, it seems that McBride won't be a felon for very much longer. The Cleveland County District Attorney's Office announced that they would dismiss the case against her. However, McBride will still need legal intervention to have the felony charges cleared from her record. Stories like McBride's are an echo of an era long past. The store where McBride rented Sabrina the Teenage Witch closed in 2008. Blockbuster, once the largest video rental chain in the United States, closed most of its locations in 2014 after declaring bankruptcy in 2010. However, McBride isn't alone in accidentally keeping a VHS tape past its return date, and surprisingly, she's not the first person to face charges for it. In 2016, a North Carolina man was arrested for failing to return a VHS cassette he rented in 2002. Freddie got fingered. The man was arrested after being pulled over for a busted taillight. The officer said, I don't know how to tell you this, but there's a warrant out for your arrest from 2002. Apparently, you rented the movie Freddie Got Fingered and never returned it.
It's like, I don't know how to tell you this, but you're about to get fingered.
You're going to jail. You're going to get more than fingered, buddy. It just goes to show everyone should double check their closets for an unreturned VHS tape. I mean, these stores closed years ago, and the charges for not returning their tapes are still out. That's insane, man. It was dangerous renting movies back then. You were testing it. Those late fees, all that stuff.
The thing that gets me, though, is the fact that it shouldn't be legal for them to charge more in late fees than whatever they paid for that cassette tape, like the $60 for being able to rent it or whatever. Like, that should be what it maxes out at. You shouldn't just be able to keep applying penalties forever until somebody racks up a felony, which is insane.
Hollywood Video was the worst at that. They really charge you an arm and leg. I went there one time and I was like 2 3 days late with a return. Oh my gosh, they were much worse than Blockbuster, man. Imagine what they're doing to people right now.
Yeah, there's all these people in
Just a chain
prison.
gang. What'd you do? Hollywood Video.
Yeah. What did you
Hollywood
do? I rented Freddy Up Fingers. That's what I'm in for.
Video. Uh,
That's also insult to injury when it's like a bad movie. They got you in all this trouble.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Hmm.
That's the other thing is like you said, like these stores aren't even around anymore. It's like,
Exactly. Yeah. There's no one to like pay off or
yeah, like even if she
uh,
wanted to pay that fine, she couldn't.
yeah. I think I read a story a while back that was like about an overdue library book where somebody had like racked up like 1,000 or something, like a really high fine for like a book. That's
Yeah, that's the
insane.
other thing. Like, it should max out at whatever that book costs.
Yeah.
It. I don't understand this. Like, will allow places to fine people infinite money for something that didn't
Right.
cost that much. Although, don't most, at least public libraries, don't they have like one like amnesty week per year where they're like, okay, you can bring in your books and you won't get fined or whatever.
I didn't know about that.
I think some of them do at least. Because I
Huh.
remember like my hometown library had a thing like that, like an amnesty week. Like if you have overdue books, bring them back this week, no late charge.
That's like good and bad because then people will wait until Amnesty Week to return it, right?
Probably. I'm kind of surprised in this day and age that like public libraries like still are a thing, but there are people that still like that process of going and checking out like a physical book and doing the whole rigmarole.
Actually, public libraries are better now than ever, I think. Like you can rent movies from there. Like you can do a lot of stuff. You can stream movies, I think, from public libraries. So they're a really good source for a lot of things.
Yeah, I've never checked it out. I probably should. I know there's one called like Canopy, I think with like a K. That's like
Hmm.
a library streaming service where you can like stream certain movies for free, which might be good stuff on there. I've never looked.
Yeah.